Okay, ready.
Very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Suresh, and today I'm going to present about hybrid mobile application development. So, first of all, let's look at why we should build a mobile application. There is so many technologies to present information. For instance, you can see how people presented the ebook today for the conference today, that you can scan a QR code and you are downloading an ebook to your device to see the event, itinerary of today, speakers, sponsor information, and so on. So just before we jump into the topic, I'm from MU.my. I work for open source projects in my free time. And so when we talk about hybrid mobile application, you just need to know three things, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So technically you don't have to be a programmer, so you just need to be a coder, which requires some coding skills for you to start your application. So let's look at why you need to build an application first. Let's look at how our life changed by different applications today, such as Uber and Grab. So our lifestyle has been changed from taking a taxi, calling a taxi, or hailing a taxi and car. Now we are just booking a ride in 1 or 2 minutes away. We also have so many different apps, such as social networking apps. We have some cool social networking apps that you can post your instant moments, that you freeze your time and post on Instagram and stuff like that. And besides that, if you don't notice, there's some interesting games applications available. One of my favorite game is that SMTH. Is something called throw your phone as far as you can, and you can count on the result, how far your phone went, if you can catch your phone in a piece. And there is another interesting app is that called Nothing. This app gives you absolutely nothing. When you install, you get no icon, no description, no image, and absolutely nothing. And interestingly, they have a pro version of it as well.
Who?
So if you upgrade pro version of Nothing app,
Okay.
you will get absolutely nothing. And there's an app actually can tell you when you're going to die.
Wow.
So you might want to install this and check it out, when and how you're going to die. So the point is, the technology is evolving. We come up with mobile applications first. We have like an iPhone, right? And we install so many applications, and then they come out with iPads. Again, the need for application is growing. And I don't know, maybe down the time, maybe in 1 year time, maybe we will have iBoat. Universities maybe will be using iBoat to teach. And maybe after 10 years, we maybe have an iMac, which we can put on your house and tap on it like an application. So applications, need for applications growing day to day. We have different devices, we have different platforms that require applications. So try to build an app today. So now that we know that application make a big difference in our day-to-day life, and it changed our lifestyle. So let's look at the mobile application technologies that help you to build an app today. So if you want to build an app, first of all, we have native apps, right? So in the native app, we have main platforms. Mainly we have Android and iOS. For Android, you need to learn Java or C++. And for iOS, you need to learn Swift or Objective-C. So this will require a lot of efforts, time, because you need to learn programming. And you need to be a programmer in order to do a mobile application. So this can be time consuming, like to be a professional mobile application developer, it will take at least 1 year to learn and to be able to produce a production standard application, or it's more even. For some people it takes 3 years, depending on your speed. So there is another technology called hybrid applications. In a hybrid application, you don't use Java or you don't use Swift or Objective-C, but you just reusing your existing skills such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it's purely coding. So we don't have programming, but we are coding our application. And all of us, we have learned Java, JavaScript, and HTML in our primary schools. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Depending where you are schooling anyway. So hybrid applications makes things easier for you to build application compared to native application. The only difference, I'm going to show you the difference in the next slide. But just before that, there's another application which is trending now is PWA, Progressive Web Applications. I'm sure you guys know what Progressive Web Application, right?
Meaning that the page is actively updated, or each time we select the options? That's
Progressive Web Application is just like a mobile application,
okay,
but we park it on our server, and user don't have to install on their phone.
Oh.
For example, today we have the event, right? This conference, right? They're going to come out with an application. They need to submit to Play Store and App Store. And I'm sure the event going to have a lot of changes, right? Mm-hmm. Before the event actually happens. And every changes, they have to push a new version in the Play Store and App Store. And we are coming to this conference, we have to install that mobile application.
Okay.
Which actually I have very limited storage in my iPhone, because iPhone sells cell phones according to the storage. So I don't want to waste my storage. In Progressive Web Application, you place your application in a web server. So we just go to our URL, www.ftsm.ukm.my, and that application will be loaded into your browser. So it's saved into your browser. While you're offline, you still can use that application. Okay. It is like a web application, looks like web application, but it is fully potential just like a mobile application. You can even send push notifications.
So meaning that it's inside the browser.
That means user don't have to install it. Okay. For example, some applications we just use one time. For example, I'm taking a flight, probably I want Malaysia Airlines applications. I'm just going to use it today, or maybe next month, or the month after that, because probably I fly once in a month, not every day. So I don't need this application on my phone. What I need is, I just need to use this application when I need. Mm-hmm. So probably Malaysia Airlines should publish a progressive web application, which actually I go to this page and then I can do whatever I can do exactly on the phone itself, on the app itself. As well as it can push notifications to you, it can work offline, even when you have no internet, it will still work. Okay. So that is progressive web application. So today I'm going to show you how to do HTML5 hybrid application using a Ionic framework. This is a big comparison between native and hybrid applications. The one difference that you want to focus is the performance. In hybrid applications, the performance is slightly slower because we have runtime that actually replicate and communicate with the native hardwares. In a native application, it's slightly faster, but with the technology improvement, the runtime improvements, now it works even better. So look at the capability overview. We have hybrid application, we have native application. Both can do the same thing. So if you can communicate with the camera using hybrid application, you can do the same with the native application, right? So we don't have like big limitation in terms of hybrid application, in terms of the capability, unless you're just building a HTML5 application. So again, hybrid application benefit is you reuse your existing web development skill. You don't need to learn programming. And reduce cost of development across multiple platforms, because you just develop one app. When you publish, you get Android, iOS. So you get two applications when you publish. Now let's look at the technologies that we can use to build hybrid mobile application. PhoneGap has been there for many years. Now we have PhoneGap built by Adobe. PhoneGap is cool platform actually. You can build hybrid application using PhoneCAD. It's just that you need to use your different framework, or you need to figure out what framework to use, because there's not much visual or UI elements available. But there's a wide variety of plugins, tutorials available out there. And then we have Ionic. Ionic is a free open source platform. One reason why I'm using Ionic today is that Ionic comes with beautiful UI elements. This is Ionic. It comes with beautiful UI elements. For example, let's say you want to make a card like that. That's a card that usually you see on a hotel app, right? If you want a card like that, you just copy this code and it's there.
So we can
just modify that code.
There's a so meaning that we can use Bootstrap template, but
we don't use Bootstrap here because Ionic has its own UI elements.
Okay.
It is optimized for mobile, and it comes with two different classes. We have material designs, we have iOS. So on iOS, it looks like iOS icons.
Yeah.
On Android, it looks like an Android icon, material design.
Okay.
So this is something like Bootstrap.
Yeah. So
Bootstrap is for web design.
Oh, okay.
So why you use Bootstrap? Because you want to have buttons and everything. You don't want to reinvent the grid system and everything. For Ionic, we use Ionic UI elements. We call it Ionic components. This component is similar like Bootstrap, but for mobile applications.
Okay.
You can build web application as well. So this is an example of code. You can see there's hundreds of codes available that you can copy and you can modify it and you can reuse it. In order to use Ionic, for now, you need to know Angular. Angular is a JavaScript library. So it's just different kind of JavaScript, just like React. What other JavaScript that we have? Wood.js, right? So now Ionic is using Angular, but from Ionic 4, you can choose your own library, what library you want to use. By Ionic 3, you need to use Angular. And TypeScript from Microsoft, that's a different kind of JavaScript again. So there's two different JavaScript we are using. You can use JavaScript itself, and you need to know HTML and CSS. So now to install Ionic, it's super easy. First of all, you need to install Node.js. You can download Node.js from nodejs.org. Just download version 8, which is a long-term support, and install it on your computer. Once you install Node.js, you will require to run a command, which is npm install gionic. I'm going to demonstrate how this works shortly.
Okay.
But just before that, let's look at what are the technologies. I just explained that you need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript to build a mobile application, right? And we're also using Cordova. Cordova is from Apache. Anyone heard about Cordova?
Yeah.
Imagine. I have a lot of imagine.
Don't worry.
Okay, so Cordova is an engine from Apache that can communicate with hardware of your phone. We have a lot of hardware in our phone. We have sensors, we have camera, we have microphones, right? These are the engines. So HTML cannot communicate with your hardware directly, so we use Cordova. So this is a big difference. This is different how native application communicating with your hardware, and hybrid application using Cordova to communicate with your hardware. Meanwhile, a web application cannot communicate with your hardware. That means progressive web application have a limitation in terms of communicating with the hardware, unless we have an engine such as Apache there.
Okay. So
when we want to build a mobile application, there's 3 phases to build a mobile application. Phase 1, we're going to build the UI. I'm going to build a mobile application shortly. I'm going to demonstrate how to build a mobile application for this conference, for example. Phase 1 is UI UX, means we are building the user elements, the pages, how people navigate this. And the second phase is that we are building the backend. Anyone familiar with backends? I'm sure all of you are familiar with the backends.
APIs, right?
Especially you are. And the third part is, once your application is finished, we're going to compile this application so it can be distributed. We're going to submit to Google Play Store and Apple App Store. So first part is super easy because I showed you just now we have library, right? Like Bootstrap, right? You can copy paste and you can customize it. Second phase is slightly difficult. You need to rely on a programmer, or you use Firebase. Firebase is a free backend application from Google now.
Free
For 10 GB and 100,000 transactions. More than that, you have to pay for it. Even Lazada using
Firebase. Okay.
Lazada using Firebase. And the third one is the most complicated one that we need to compile. But now we have cloud, which can help us to compile our application. So just in case if you're not sure what backend is, look at this. Have you come across this video?
Biasa.
Right, when you are watching MGM movies, probably you have come across this video, and this is the back end of it. So that's how the back end works. So back end is more complicated that handle all your data, your logins, and stuff like that. So installing Ionic is super easy. Actually, this is not for technical. Non-technical people can build mobile applications. Installing Ionic, first of all, you need to install Node.js. Node.js is an application that you can download from nodejs.org. It's a Windows application. It's available for Mac. It's available for Linux. Just download, double-click, next, finish. Just like how you install your games. Next, if you're going to open your PowerShell in Windows or Terminal or Macintosh, and just run this command, npm install -g for global Ionic Cordova. So it's going to install a lot of codes in your browser, and then it will say installation completed. That means now Ionic is already installed. Okay, with that, Ionic is already installed. What you can do next is you start to build an application. So this is my terminal. In this terminal, in Windows you call this command prompt, right? So I don't recommend you use command prompt because the command is slightly different. You can use PowerShell. Don't be afraid when you see the command prompt because it's super easy. Of course, you living with command prompt.
Okay.
Yeah, server guy, so you're living with command prompt.
PowerShell
but the rest of you, don't be afraid. Actually, PowerShell or command line actually make your life much easier.
Even in Windows also is PowerShell?
Windows Mac? PowerShell, Mac is terminal.
Oh, okay.
So it looks the same actually, the command is the same.
Okay.
So now I'm going to build a new application. First of all, dekat mana my mobile application will appear. So where I'm going to store my mobile application. So I'm going to store on my desktop. So I'm going to set my location, that's CD. So now I am on my location, which is on my desktop. It means my application will come up somewhere on my desktop here.
Okay.
CD desktop. The command is same for Windows. Using PowerShell. So this is the next command you can see. First of all, we're going to CD to our desktop. Secondly, I'm going to run another command called Ionic start. That is how we start our mobile application. Ionic start. So it says every great app needs a name. What's your application name? So we're going to, let's say we're going to build an application for MCAIT.
Okay, MCAIT.
So I'm going to type MCAIT is my mobile application. 2009. And now it's asking what template you want to use. Untuk buat mobile application, I only give you a pre-defined templates. So we have tabs. Tabs means dekat bawah ada beberapa tabs. And then we have blank. Blank means you start from nothing. Side menu just like Lazada punya app, you know. Side menu. And then we have super. This is consists of everything. They just give you an idea of what you can do. Tutorial is to trial and error to teach you. And then we have Amazon Web Services, AWS. This one connecting to the AWS mobile hub. So you can use as a backend.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now today I'm going to use a, let's say, side menu. Enter. Okay, it's downloading the template to my computer.
So we need internet to be...
Yes.
To install it, we need internet so they can
just
download.
The starting progress because
Okay.
you're going to download the template. All right?
Okay.
And it's asking, do you want to have a Cordova on your application? You can say no. If you say no, your mobile application cannot communicate with sensors such as camera, sensors, no. If you say yes, Cordova is the agent, right? Can communicate with all your hardware. So I'm going to say yes. And now it is downloading some dependencies that is required to build my application. So once this dependencies is done, I can preview my application already. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the application, add a menu, add a page, and this will take few minutes, that depending on my internet connection. Let me see, okay, I'm using the hotel internet, and it's a peak hour, everyone using internet because there's many presentations going on.
Okay.
That's why people browse the internet.
Okay.
So what it's gonna do is you can already see that, see, my folder is already on my desktop.
Okay.
Because I said CD desktop. CD desktop means create on my desktop. And then I say Ionic start, it's asking me several questions. Just answer that question. And Ionic already create your mobile application on your desktop. This is my mobile application. So now Ionic downloading a folder called Node Modules, which is not there yet. That is a dependency folder.
So
Once Ionic already download that, I can preview my mobile application already.
Meaning that right now it downloaded Cordova library.
Yes.
Okay, it's going to take time.
Yes, it's downloading the Node.js server actually, and any module that's related. These are the dependencies. We don't even have to open this actually. This is just dependency. We can delete it later.
Okay.
When we are sending the application or backing up the application. But it's like 80 MB, 80 megabyte. So it's going to take little more time to complete the downloads.
What do you mean with that? Meaning that after while we are building these mobile apps, we need the Cordova.
Yes.
But when we push it to Google Play or Apple Store, we don't need to post everything, right?
Yeah, we don't need to post everything. What we're going to do is, mobile application are 3 phases. So the third phase is going to compile, right?
Okay.
So we're going to just compile our application.
Compile the needed.
And we will remove all unnecessary dependencies. Okay, so if you look at the getting started to the mobile app, it's pretty easy. The first command to install the whole thing is npm install g Ionic Cordova. That's it. You're going to run, but make sure in order to detect npm, you need to install Node.js. That's a computer software. Download, install. You don't need to open it. You don't need to investigate what is npm Node.js. It can get a little complicated if you go into detail, but it's good if you want to be a JavaScript programmer. That's mostly for JavaScript programmers.
Java.
So npm is Node Package Manager. You can check out Node Package Manager, what it is, and it's an amazing thing actually. And we have desktop, Ionic start. That's the first command to start our mobile application. Now our application is, let's say, already created. So we have first folder called src. This is the most important folder. This is where we're going to build our application. So I'm going to build the whole application using just HTML. And of course you need some JavaScript when you want to integrate some functions, or you want to connect to the backend. Let's see the status. I didn't expect it will take this long because I just tried before starting this talk, and it was
I think the wireless
Like
internet
2 minutes. And now it's taking pretty long. Okay, so
okay.
So that's how the progress you see. It's downloading, and it has to be complete. The downloads, and then you can preview your mobile application already. So now, while you develop your mobile application, you can view your mobile application using a specific app called Ionic Dev App. So there is Dev App, This is a unique dev app. If you install this app can be installed from Play Store or Apple App Store. Your phone need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi as your desktop. And when you're developing your app on the desktop, you can preview on your mobile phone using wireless connection.
Okay.
Because the Node.js server will be running in your
because the Node.js is a HTTP server, right?
Yeah, it's a local server.
A local server, okay.
So you can preview directly on your phone when you are developing. So usually if I'm developing an application, I will open my phone and dock it on my desktop. Whatever I do, it will be updated on my phone immediately in real time. Not exactly real time, there's 1 or 2 second delays.
Okay.
So let's look at the structure of this application. Okay, now we have, this is our mobile application. First of all, we have config.xml. This file is very important because this is, I'm going to open, I'm using this editor, it's called Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a free editor from Microsoft. I usually don't use Microsoft products.
This one open source, right?
I think this is freeware.
Oh, okay.
But this is a cool editor because when you make a mistake, it can tell you.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of autofill, there's a lot of plugins available. So I used to work with Sublime Text Editor. You can see just before that there's a Sublime Text Editor. But I think now Visual Studio Code is the best. So I can drag this folder, drag. Okay, so once I drag that folder to my editor, the editor already opened. Yeah, the editor already opened all my application files. So first of all, we can see there is several folders in the SRC. There's only 2 folders you need to learn to edit, and then you can build an application with multiple pages, different contents. So that will be pages. First of all, pages folder, and then secondly, the theme folder. So the theme folder is very straightforward. There's only one file called variable.scss. And we're going to change our color. So let's say this is the colors available. You see, this editor is very cool. It can allow you to pick your color, so you don't have to figure out what's your color code. Let me see, what is the status here?
Still downloading, huh?
Come on. Okay, so I'm going to just abort this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now let's assume the download is completed.
Okay.
So again, what command I run that is just Ionic start. Once Ionic start, it asking you 4 questions, and then you got the folder already. Assuming your internet connection is good. So now I'm going to run into the folder. So I cd to this folder. This is my application folder. I did nothing. This is a blank folder that I got from Ionic. So I want to preview this folder, how my app look alike. To preview, it's Ionic serve-l. So Ionic serve-l is a built-in tool. usually don't have this issue. This is because of the installation just now, right? It didn't complete. Okay, initsurf is a building tool that actually can preview your application for you in real time. Okay, now this is my application. It is loading in a local Node.js server. This is sidebar application. So I have preview in iOS and Android. So this is an iOS app. I can see there's menus, and this is the Android app. So you can see it's pretty much the same. So once you finish one application, you can export to both iOS and Android. It's a blank, so we have nothing here.
At least it's not nothing.
Just you have a menu and there's no pages yet. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab this chair and just do a little modification to the HTML and the CSS of this application.
Okay.
So again, I'm going to drag this folder to my editor. Okay, so now I can see that this is the pages home page. This is a home page. We can see that there is no colors in the home page. This is a home page. There's no color. We can see there's title home. So I'm going to change this to be MCAIT. So to center or to change color, we're going to use all classes, which is already built in Ionic classes. For example, I just changed to MCAIT2008. So let's look at it. You can see it's already changed, MCAIT2018. It's not center, so I'm going to add a class called text-center. Same, so it's HTML. So there's no programming. So text center shouldn't add to the button anyway. This is a button. I should add to the nav bar because the text is in the nav bar itself. So I'm adding to the nav bar. So now it's in the middle. So I'm going to add a color called primary color. Color equal to, let's say, primary. Save. So now it's with a primary color. But we know that for this event, the primary color is
dark green.
Dark green. So let's say this is the color. Yeah. So this is the color for this event. I'm copying this color from their website, and I'm going to change in the variable.css. This is the color, right? This is for primary color. So I'm going to change this to be this color. Save. That's it. Now everything will be changed. So, and let's say I'm going to add the image, the logo of this event. This is the logo of the event. Copy it. You can also save in your application. But for now, I'm going to just add img. This is a super basic HTML tag. img. Close it. So there's just image tag with src in it. Image src. So we can see the image is there. And as well as we can do so many other things. For example, let's say I want to add a page. I can go to the menu, add a page. Let's say down here I want to add something. I can click on the left, there's component. Click component. Component. I think the internet is really full swing now. So I'm connected to my mobile hotspot works now. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the component of Ionic. You can see there's so many components. Let's say you want a button, so you click on the button, and then you can see the preview of button on your right side. So you can just scroll what kind of button you want. Let's say I want an icon button. Click on icon button. Now you can see it here. So all you can do is you copy this code because you want this kind of button, and you put it on your home page where you want that button. Let's say if you want to replace this text, paste it here, save. So now I can see I have a button with the icon itself. Let's say I want to remove the previous button. This is the previous button. Save. Okay, I have a button. I can add simply some clauses to this button, such as block. Let's see what happened when I add block. Now the button became bigger. And I can also change the color of button, like change to color dark. Color equal to dark. Now the color is dark. I can add a class, say large. Now the button is large. So there's so many classes available. And if you want to change your colors, you can go here and you can define your own color. For example, comma, I say Sam. This is my own color. And we always try with red to see whether it works. Yes, it works. And now you can mouse over on the red and you can change any color you want. So if you go here and you say now it is Sam, it will be the color that you have chosen. So that's how we build mobile application. I think we can build this application in less than 1 hour to add all the features, the speakers and all the stuff, because the UI element is really rich, and you can see there are so many elements such as cards, checkbox. So you can simply take all these and you can customize it. If you go to the API docs for all of these elements, there is so many elements available, and there's options how to customize this. So for each element you will find that API docs. If you click API docs, it will open another page and explain how this code works and what are the attributes you have, what are the variables you have, and how you can change it. So there are so many, and we have a grid system in Ionic. So if you want to have 2 buttons left and right, so there's a grid system available. Gestures and so many things available for your user elements. Once we have done with the user elements, now we want to add functionalities such as sensors, login and all that. That is under Ionic native. So in the same preview, this is preview. How you get this? You need to run preview for your application. To run preview, you need to run a code called Ionic serve-l. You run within your application, and then this preview will be running. And it's real time, it's monitoring now your application. Anything you change in your application, it will update it here. See, the monitoring, this is the monitoring. Every time I save, it is monitoring and it's updating on my preview here. And as for the Ionic native, this is Ionic native. Ionic native actually allows you to add functionality for your application, such as you can have fingerprint authentication, you can have camera. So this is Ionic native. You can see features such as add mob. Add mob, if you are building an app and you want to have advertisement at the bottom of it or top of it. You have seen free applications, right? So you can make money out of this advertisement. It's a program from Google called AdSense, right? For mobile application, it's called AdMob. And we have things like Apple Pay, Apple Wallet, so everything is here. So there's camera, call number, call log, calendars, device, dialogues, so many functionalities. All these functionality can be used. Once you click, you will find the documentation how to use in your app. And then it's already in your app. This is all driven by Cordova plugins, which were converted with Ionic wrapper, so it can be used with Ionic. Okay, now we assume our application is done. Means we have completed our application. We have different pages. We can navigate through pages. There's so many UI elements. And the last phase is you want to publish your application. You want to build your application. So to build your application, first of all, you need to make sure your computer meet the minimum requirements. So the easy ways to check is just run a command called Cordova requirements. Cordova requirements actually can check actually I have to add a platform first, so I'm going to add Ionic Cordova platform at Android. This is a command I'm telling the app that I'm going to build for Android. Once I added this, I'm going to download some library from the internet, such as now I can see it's adding Android 7. So I'm going to target Android 7 API, and it's going to update my config file. Once it is updated my config file, I can build with the command Ionic Cordova build release production. That's it. I'll get my API. But in order for your computer to be able to build your application, you need to install some prerequisites such as Android Studio, Android SDK. If you're building for Apple, you need to have Xcode. This is not required if you're using cloud build. Let's say your computer doesn't meet the minimum requirement, you can build the application in build.phonegap.com. This is a free platform where you can bring your application, upload it there, and you can build it. Because your computer doesn't meet the minimum requirement. But there's a limit, you can only build one application. Because it's free, right? If you have paid account, you can build unlimited applications. But what people always do is that after they build, they delete it. And then they build new application again. Because your application source is on the computer, right? You just use that to build it. So you cannot have a workflow on the free account, but this works pretty well for many of my students because they don't have a Mac. In order to build for Apple, you need to have a Mac. But if you're building on the PhoneGap cloud, you don't have to have a Mac. You still can build for Apple and Android. So that's an example. If you want to build in PhoneGap, just go to build.phonegap.com, log into there, and then you can upload yours. So now I'm going to build on my own computer. That will be Ionic Cordova build Android release production. That's it. This will take some time, like about 5 minutes in Macintosh and 20 minutes in Windows, depending on your machine. Okay. To build. Once it finishes, it will give you the APK already. We just need to sign and then we can install on the phone.
Oh, APK need to be signed?
APK need to be signed, so you need to generate your key store. Key store can be generated using key tool, which is available on the command line as well.
Okay.
It's free. You just need to save that key store because you need to use the same key store next time you update your application. So if you use different key store, your application will not be updated. So that's a risk. Do not lose the key store file. Okay, build successful in 4 seconds. I'm going to optimize it and then I'll get my APK file already. So let me just summarize everything that I've told. First of all, you need to install Node.js, and then you run npm install Ionic Cordova, and then we're going to have Ionic start, and then we're going to have Ionic serve-l, And in between, if you want to add new pages for your application, Ionic G page, for example, about page, you want to add about page. And finally, to build Ionic Cordova platform, add Android. And finally, to build to get your APK, Ionic Cordova build, release, build Android, release prod. That will be a double flag. Okay, just have 7 commands. That's it. You can finish your application. So first one is not even a command. It's to install a software in your computer. Secondly, install the Ionic and Cordova in your computer. And thirdly, to start a new application. Of course, before you start, you need to CD to your desktop. Thirdly, to preview your application. Fourthly, to add new pages. That's how you add new page. Ionic G means generate. So Ionic generate page about. Ionic generate page contact. Ionic generate page product. It will create a new page. And then Ionic Cordova platform add Android to add Android platform. Why we need Android platform? Because we're going to compile for Android. And last command is Ionic Cordova build Android release production. There is tons of different commands out there. Check out Ionic documents. You will find out more other commands. And now you can see my build is complete, and it says, hey, your APK is in this folder. So desktop, and this is the folder contain my APK file. I can take that APK, I sign it, and I can install on phone, or I can submit it to Play Store or App Store. That's all for my presentation today. Thank you for everyone for your time. So any questions?
Right now we are using platform as Android.
Yeah.
Let's say that I want to change to Ionic, so I just issue that command.
You want to change to iOS, you mean?
iOS, sorry.
Okay,
iOS.
it is the same. If you want to build for iOS, you need to add iOS command, which is you need to add iOS platform first.
Oh, okay.
So add will be iOS, and then this will be the same. You're going to build for iOS.
You need that step by step.
Yeah, you need to do one by one.
Okay.
So because the source code compilation is different for iOS and Android. So you compile for Android and then you compile for iOS. But you're using same source.
Yes,
so you just build one application.
Okay. How are we going to secure, let's say that, how are we going to secure the Ionic APK? Secure. For example, we want...
Technically, actually, no APK is secure. So when we have an APK, it's compiled actually, people cannot see it. But if you have tools, you can see the code binary. Okay. You can read the code binary. So that means this is my application, and now I can see my platforms, Android, build, or it's output, app, build, output, APK, release. Okay, this is my application that I built just now. I got the APK already, which you cannot open it and you cannot see it because this application must be installed on the phone. But whatever information in there, actually technically people can read it. So that having that in mind, we cannot put anything that is sensitive in our application.
Okay.
So if you really need to put like API or credentials to talk to your backend servers and all that, this must be placed in a different server, and your application going to connect to that server, and that server going to connect to the authentication server, IDP, and so on.
Okay.
So that's some sort of proxy APIs that we can use, so we don't place sensitive information. The other way is we can minify the codes. It's a bit hard, but people still can read it.
Yeah.
So,
if I still.
So technically, whatever we place on people's phone, if the phone can read, means the person can read as well. It's just how hard and how easy for them to read it.
It's a matter of time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Fazli? Ada apa-apa? Because we have issues about mobile apps.
So I have many types that I can some not technology lah, some skill they can execution the code. So what the thing that you can execution the code, and when they do the questionnaire, the code cannot come out like normal code.
Actually, it will come out. It's just minification. So, kind of things like minification is make people's life harder to read the code. But actually, you can read. It's just adding so much of string. So if you write the right program, it can remove all the string and you can read the code. Just like CSS or HTML, you can minify it. It's very hard to read. But there is a tool to fix it back. So it's the same. We should do all that actually. We should do, because we won't make the hackers' life difficult. It's not easier for them to carry.
Yeah, because I can see tools many in the market now.
Yes.
So perhaps Malaysians to use that tool to make people make other than just easy.
So what will happen is that we have mobile application. The code is clean. We can read. So we need to minify all this in a way that people cannot read it, and then we compile it. Yeah, there is tools actually to do that, but again, that is not to say will secure it, but will make a bit difficult to dig the data that we have.
Okay. So meaning that the communication between the but right now the requirement by Google that the apps and the API server should be communicated in HTTPS, right?
Actually, the app. Yes, it should be HTTPS, but the HTTPS is in your backend.
Okay.
So the app is just going to connect to that and it bring back. So what usually problem is that sensitive information. But what usually our app do is, for example, today we want to get the weather information. So we send a request to API server. API server get the weather, it return to the backend server. Backend server give back to your mobile app. So what you get is just the weather information, which is actually, I don't mind if people want to steal this information because it's not a sensitive information.
Yeah, sensitive information is being processed by the backend.
When there is sensitive information, we need people to log in first. For example, you need to log in into your mobile application, and then now it get your sensitive information. But we need the authentication keys, right? So without logins, you can't do that. So although a middle person, let's say they are able to hack our application, they still need a username and password to retrieve that information.
Okay.
So if they are a user, they have a username and password, probably they can hack their own account.
Okay.
Because they only have username and password for the account, right? So it won't be easy for them to hack actually. It's only thing that people make a mistake by having all the API key and everything on
the private key
this app, and it's called app component.
Right.
So here is where people will update all their, when it's initialized, they will put the Firebase API, private key and everything. So and then Firebase can connect to the backend. So that's a wrong way of doing things, because when you put it here, people can actually read the binary and they can read this Firebase.
You're giving access to database.
Yes, so people can write, delete things in your database. But now Firebase come up with new rules that you need to have rules policy in Firebase, which you cannot simply write without logging in first. So that means you need to log in to your app, and then you can write data to Firebase. So still go back to like what I said earlier. In order to write or read, you must log in first. So that means you need to have a username and password. So I think one of the example is this one. This is Firebase, and you can see Firebase, they have like storage, database. Yeah, this is one of the example applications, and there's rules actually. So you can control in the rules, this example rule. Actually, I need to add 2 more lines to make it more secure. So we want to read and write is only for logged in users.
Okay. Right. Okay.
All right, that's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sam.